wasn't until Grant Kenny won the Molokai at 16 years of age, and the news of a lot of endurance events happening in South Africa. It wasn't until this time that paddling and ocean paddling in particular didn't start to get a lot more popular. Was one of the reasons that you chose ocean paddling over, say, Ironman or surf lifesaving, which you could have done because, you were training with people like Guy Leach, who were class endurance athletes as well. But was it ever a matter of thought where you considered the fact that it wasn't maybe overpopulated, the sport at the time, and it was a good opportunity for you to make your presence felt amongst competitors because you were going into a sport which maybe didn't have the same opportunities and exposure that surf lifesaving had at the time?
Yeah, like I probably would never have been a top Ironman anyway. I did quite a few of the events. I wasn't a fast enough swimmer really, and the basis of an Ironman race is swimming really. If you're not a fast enough swimmer, there's no way you'll ever make a good Ironman because it's the leg that, like the bike leg really counts in a triathlon. It's the swim leg that really counts in a Ironman event, in a surf Ironman event. So I hadn't had the swimming background that a lot of the other guys had. I never swam as a kid. I only did it for a couple of years in my late teens, and I got reasonable at it, but I never got good at it. So, to make big gains in swimming, you have to do so much work to gain precious seconds. And for me, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, belting out 10 swimming sessions a week. It's not my sort of thing. So the ocean was my attraction. So, and yeah, but all the top ski paddlers at the time from the surf were all doing whatever ocean races presented themselves. So the 20 beaches started in 1991, and that was the first big race in Australia that sort of gained a bit of traction, and it's still going today. It's run by a fantastic group of people that put that together now, and so and obviously the support from Shaw and Partners over the last few years has really boosted that, and then the other parts of the sport as well.
I understand you throughout the 80s, though, were very strong in your performances in Ironman, and that really hooked you. You went to every event since the Molokai Ironman, the first event. You won all the events throughout the 90s pretty much. You were very dominant there. So the 90s, going on to break some records there. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and the Molokai to Oahu?
Yeah, so I started doing that in 1989, and then obviously I kept going there for a long time afterwards. So through the 90s was sort of my heyday, I guess, if you like. That was when I was being able to train and actually try and do well in that particular event. And so I did that through the 90s and broke the record in 94 and 97 and held that through to 2018. And then I kind of went in 2002, I started the Australian Ocean Racing Series in Australia, and that sort of sapped a lot of the drive for me to actually compete myself. So whilst I was still doing the events and still doing pretty good, I wasn't sort of focusing on the events from a racing perspective. I was focusing on the events from an organisational perspective. And I think doing the hard yards then has helped grow the whole sport and turn it into what it is now, where it's a pretty decent sized sport now with groups all over the country. And so I'm glad that I made that decision then, because how many Molokais do you really need to win? But I would have liked to got 10. That would have been nice.